Welcome to this quick video about rounding to decimal places and significant figures. What rounding does is it allows us to have an idea of how big a number is without needing to be as accurate as looking at every single digit that might be within a number. So we just get a flavour, we get an idea of what that number's all about. So when we're rounding, the digits 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 tell me to leave things alone. And then 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 tell me to change things. When we look at some examples in a second, that will make a bit more sense. But the key things here is 4 and below or 5 and above. So if I want to round 3.4628 to 2 decimal places, to help me out, what I'm going to do is count along two digits after the decimal place. So 1, 2, and I'm going to put a line. All that line does is help me remember where I'm interested in being. So, I need to look at this 2. If you remember on the last slide, we said that 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 tell me to leave things alone. I'm not going to have to change this 6 here because just after the line I've got a 2. So to 2 decimal places, we've got 3.46. Now in this next question we need to round to 3 decimal places. So I'm going to start from the decimal point and count 1, 2, 3 along and put my line. So again, I'm going to look to the right of my line, and this time I've got a 7. So that 7 tells me I need to change things. So I'm going to have to change this number here. So that 2 is going to become a 3. So that'd be 4.393. So on part A, on the first question, we left things alone because of the 2. But on this one, we're changing things because of that 7. So here, 3 decimal places. So again, I'm going to count along 3. 1, 2, 3. Put a line. So that 8 is going to tell me to change things. 8 just to the right-hand side of the line. But I can't change a 9 just on its own because there's no digit straight above 9. So I'm going to need to change this into a 0. It's effectively like being a 10. I've got too many digits to all go in here now. I can't have a 10 in one place. So I need to give it next door. So this is going to be 15.730. It's like the 29 has changed into a 30. And then if I want to round 1.97 to 1 decimal place, I'll put my line in after one digit after the decimal point. That 7 is going to need to tell me to change up. So in the same way as we did above, it's like that 19 is becoming a 20. I get 2.0 to 1 decimal place. Now rounding to significant figures requires us to use very, very similar skills. A minute ago, when I was rounding decimal places, I counted along 3, if it was 3 decimal places, digits after the decimal point. With significant figures, what we're going to do is count the most important numbers, the numbers that have the biggest value. So here, that's that 50, because this is worth 50, 2, 0.7, 0.03 and 0.008. So I'm going to count along 3, finding the 3 most important numbers, the biggest numbers. So that's 50, the 2 and the 0.7. So as soon as I've started counting, I can just continue counting. So I'm going to put my line. Now, as before, that 3 is going to tell me to leave things alone. So this is 52.7. For this next question, I want to go to 5 significant figures. So I look for where's my biggest value number. Here it's at 100. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put a line. So I remember where I'm interested in. I'm going to look just to the right of the line like I keep on doing. And that 7 is going to tell me to change things. So instead of being a 5, that's going to be a 6. So I'll have 129.76. Now here, 3 significant figures. The thousands is the most important number, it's the biggest number. So I'm going to count along 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to put a line. Now the first thing I need to do is look at this 9 here. That's going to tell me to change things, so I know I'm going to have 464 in effect from here, 464. Now looking at this number, it's 4,639, but in my answer at the moment I've got something in the hundreds, 464. If you remember, rounding is all about giving me an idea of how big a number is. 400 is nowhere near the same as 4,000, but 4,640 is about the same as 4,639. One thing we sometimes need to do is put some zeros in to fill up to the decimal point. Here I had 4 digits to the left hand side of the decimal point, and my answer's got 4 digits. Let me just look at one more question. 4063 to 3 significant figures. Now, if you remember, we said a minute ago we're not going to worry about zeros. So I'm looking for my most important. I've got 4,000. Because I've already started counting, I can count this zero. I count this zero as thing 2, and that's 6 as significant figure 3, and put my line here. So as soon as we start counting, we carry on counting. I look at that 3, that tells me to leave it alone. So that's 406. It needs to be about the same, so it's 4,060. The only time that significant figuring might be a little bit more tricky is we've got lots of zeros at the front, like here. So here I've got 0.0382. And if you remember, we're looking for the digit that has the biggest value. So that's 0 units and 0 tenths. So they're both worth 0. The most important number here, the number with the biggest value, is here. So I'm going to start counting from there. So if I've got lots of zeros in front of a number, I don't start counting until I get at my first non-zero. And then we're going to do exactly the same. That 2 at the end here is going to tell me to leave things alone. So I have 0.038. And notice I've got 2 digits now, it's 2 significant figures, and I've got 2 non-zero digits. So I want to round this number here to 3 significant figures. So I don't worry about any of these zeros. I start counting from here at the 1. 1, 2, 3, and I'll put a line in. Now as before, we have a look. That 8 does make things change, so instead of a 5 here, I'm going to have a 6. So 0.000136. And then as before, that 0 in the middle of the number here isn't going to make me change anything I'm doing. I look for the first significant figure, which here is at 3. So as soon as I hit a number I start counting from, I carry on. So there's 1, 2, 3. That 5 is going to tell me to change things. So I've got 0.000303. I hope that quick review of rounding has been helpful. Thank you very much.